Welcome to another episode of Uncaged, the John Rocker podcast with my man. I call him Ball Game. He calls me Ball Game, but we all know him as Southside. Steve Rickman is my co-host today, and I've got a great guest on today. One of my favorite people alive, been good friends a long time with this man. Tremendous baseball career. Got to know Marquis, never played with him, but played against him for years. Got to know him once we both got out of the game, and has become a dear friend of mine in the last 15, 20 years. Mr. Marquis Grissom. What's up, Grip?
What's going on, Rock?
Not much, man. We talked about having you on the show a couple of weeks ago. I'm glad to pin you down for an afternoon and get you on here. I know you're a busy guy with all your travel ball stuff and all your kids all over the country in their various college programs, and you got Junior playing pro ball now, and hopefully we'll see him maybe this time next year playing the playoffs. Who knows? But but good to have you on here, brother.
Yeah, I'm glad to be here, man. I just appreciate you for all you do, man. You've been supporting me for the last 10, 15 years.
Yeah.
My golf tournament in Galen, my two big events that I do every year. And, people love you, man. You know, you're one of the guys that they want to see on the golf course.
Well, I appreciate that. I come out every year. You invite me. I just hope you keep inviting me. And Lord knows you're not inviting me because of my golf game. So, and hell, this year I got my whole right side, back, leg, everything. I can't even swing a golf club right now, but still came out there to wave my little hat around and say hey to everybody, and still had fun. So, and we got Steve Rickman on here, which I think you probably know Steve over the years from bouncing around Atlanta as well. So,
what's up, Steve?
Yeah, it's always good. It's fun. I think one of the times I met Marquis, every boy in Fayette County played on this, jacked up All-Star team, and Michael Lowry was one of them, my neighbor. And all he talked about was Marquis. And it's like, that's the thing with guys like you, and Rocker too. The kids, and I got kids 8 and 5 playing. I don't have them in that crazy ride around ball, but I can tell you that for me, it's just watching them play and get better. But you start to see these kids and you're like, man, they're next level. They've got a shot, and you start to see it. And that was you. Everybody talked about you on the South Side.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun back then, man. We had a lot of competition, a lot of good players. And by the way, me and Mike Lowry grew up together, man. Been knowing each other a long time. And
he's a ride or die for me. I kind of took the place of his older brother, and he and my brother, he was best man. So I raised Mike Lowry, and he talked about you, and I didn't meet you until one of Otis Nixon's golf tournaments, and I'm like, this is the man I've heard about for 30 years.
Who's Mike Lowry?
He's just a good guy. He works for Delta, and he actually got with the Giants. And when he was working for Delta, no, not a player. What he did was he was assigned to the Giants as the Delta rep.
I got you. Okay, yeah.
Guys.
Yeah.
And he got in with Barry Bonds and a few of the other guys, and then he worked his way up. And now Marquis, he runs the whole department for Delta, assigning people to be with professional teams.
Yeah, we had a guy named Matt Honey was a Braves guy with Delta. Matt was he's always flowers on the Chargers and whatnot. So yeah, Matt was a good cat. So okay.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
And he was on the ground. He was on the grounds crew for the Braves when y'all won the World Series in '95.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Oh, Mike Lowry, one of the best dudes ever, dude. Tell me.
Well, I tell you, Grip, I've known you a long time, man, and I tell people when your name comes up, which it comes up a lot, I got to defend you a lot. Like, no, Grip ain't like that. No, I gotta. Which never happens, by the way. I'm just talking shit here. But I do tell people when I'm talking about men that have done it the right way and men that have come full circle and now they're putting back into the game what they got out of the game. And Grip, you've got one of the best stories, and I don't go into tremendous detail because honestly I don't know. I know enough of the details, but obviously not you as having lived it. But just one of the best stories of rags to riches and how much baseball gave you, and really in what you did to get from baseball. So just talk us through kind of where you started living south side of Atlanta. I know your story, how you grew up, and obviously where you are now. I know where you are. I mean, you're in your house right there in Sandy Springs, a fantastic house. So just give the listeners kind of where you started, where you are now. Growing up south side of Atlanta, where it all started from.
Yeah, Rock, man. I'm one of 15. 8 boys, 7 girls. My mom and dad, we grew up in Red Oak, Georgia, which is about 15 minutes south of the airport. So I'm not too far from the airport. And we grew up on like a little small farm, man. We had pigs, chicken, cows, horses on a dirt road. So that's where I kind of came
Back
from
when
and
there were
grew up
dirt
at.
roads 15 miles south of Atlanta Airport. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a dirt road when I was growing up. We didn't have a paved road, and it was probably one of the best experiences ever for me as a kid and as a son, because it was just a lot of love. It was a family love growing. And had a garden where we grew all our vegetables and food, and we killed animals every year. That was our meat during the winter. So I kind of grew up not poor, but we had everything we need and a lot of love. And I think
Yeah,
that was
and keep
kind
in
of.
mind, listeners, this is not like the 1950s or 60s. This is like the
No.
1970s, 80s.
Yeah,
You
this
know.
is 1980. I
Yeah.
was drawing water out of a well. I graduated in 1986, and I was
Yeah, this is
drawing
like
water out of a
yesteryear where it's like
well.
black and white TV and everybody's like, listen
Yeah,
to the World Series on the radio because that's all you had. This is like 1980 in Georgia. This is
80,
fairly recently.
86.
Marquise, 86. Marquise, what high school
Lakeshore
did
High
you go to?
School.
All right, you went to Lakeshore. I was MD Collins.
Yeah, so you kind of got a good idea of where I come from. And we used to beat up
Now,
on y'all. I had to throw that in there. We used to beat up on y'all pretty good and everything.
you did, Rocker. I'm like him. I lived in College Park, and I
Yeah,
was about 10 minutes from the airport, and a lot of
yeah,
my friends lived in Red Oak, and we basically were probably miles away from going to the same high school. So I know exactly where you come from, and like Rocker said, it is a tremendous story. That many children, and knowing a dirt road in the '80s, and I know exactly where you grew up.
yeah, yeah, man. But like I said, it was a great experience. And then I got an offer out of high school to get drafted to go play baseball with the Cincinnati Reds, and I turned that
Mm.
down. And then I went to college at Florida A&M. Ran into Robert Lucas, who is the brother of Bill Lucas, who was the first black general manager of all of baseball. And his brother, seen me out at the baseball field at Lakeshore High School, and he offered me a scholarship to play baseball at Florida A&M. That's how I got to Florida A&M to play baseball there 2 years. And man, I got drafted again. I said, I'm gonna take this opportunity and make the best of it, and went and started to play pro ball, man. So that's kind of how I got to professional baseball. And that college route to professional baseball was key, man. I kind of got an opportunity to grow up, leave home and grow up, and try to find myself and see exactly what I wanted to do and what I wanted to be.
Yeah, my minor league baseball route, man, that's tough for an 18, 19-year-old kid. That's the route I chose. And yeah, 18, 19 years old and riding buses for 12, 14 hours from Macon, Georgia to Hagerstown, Maryland, eating gas station hot dogs at 3 a.m. like your buddies are all off at college having fun and, calling you from fraternity parties on Saturday. Hey, Rock, what are you doing, man? We're here at the K. Happening. I'm at the La Quinta Inn in Augusta, Georgia, getting ready to play a Sunday day game. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
a
a
different world.
tough route there in minor league baseball. So yeah, that was a good decision by you. What round did Montreal pick you in?
They picked me in the June draft, the third round.
Third round, yeah.
And that was good enough for me. Like I said, I turned it down out of high school, and then that second time, I was like, I told my mom, I said, I'm gonna go ahead and try to play pro ball. And I was like you, man. I was like, I don't know if I should go out of high school. I was 18 years old, and I'm like, what I'm saying, playing against some grown men, and I wanted to experience the college life anyway, try to get my education, and then also, make that a little step towards that getting drafted. But it worked out for me, man. The college route. And I always thought this, Rock, that the players that go to college, they make it to the big leagues faster and they stay a little bit longer. The guys that go to high school, it's take them a little bit longer to get to pro ball. Not all of them, and they don't last that long. And I think it's just the maturity, leaving high school at 18, like you said, and then not mature enough to handle those road trip and those bus riding, that competition, man. When you go to college, it's a little bit better competition, a little bit better coaching, and
Yeah,
you
for
get a chance
whatever
to
reason
grow up.
I was not the carouser, and I think one thing that really helped me, and my parents encouraged me to do this. Every stop I had in the minor leagues, I always lived with a family. When I was an A-ball, I lived with my parents because make it Braves. But when I was in Danville, Virginia, in rookie ball, I lived with a family. When I was in Durham playing high, I lived with a family. So I was never that apartment setting where you got 8, 10, 15 your teammates around and everybody's up all night drinking and girls in and out. And I still had a very, I guess, family established life even as a minor league player. And so I was, generally after a game, I was coming home and watching the Sports Center highlights and going to bed, not staying up at the apartment complex till 4 a.m. Drinking booze and chasing skirt around. So I think that's one thing that kind of.
Isn't that what your parents did, John? Isn't that what your parents did? They kind of did that for players as well, kind of what you're talking about.
Yeah, even after I left Macon, my family housed Macon Braves every year. They would have a couple of guys live at my house every year, even after I'd moved on to play at a higher level. So. But one thing too, Griff, and this I know something you want to talk about is something that I guess you're doing full time now is the Marquis Grissom Baseball Foundation, your association. We were talking about before we jumped on your golf tournament, and your gala. And what I kind of alluded to when we started this conversation is everything that you got of baseball and baseball gave you. I know one thing you told me about growing up that always sticks with me is you grew up in a house in the south side of the airport in Atlanta, Georgia, in August, without air conditioning. I mean, you first time you told me, I'm like, damn, son. Like, can you imagine being in Georgia in July, no AC, trying to go to sleep? I know I live in the Panhandle of Florida now, and in July or August, my compressor went out, and I had no AC in my house for like 4 days because, of course, it always has to happen on a Friday, and the repair guy can't get to it like Tuesday. Son of a bitch. And of course, I'm in Florida, July, August, height of vacation season. There's not a hotel room in sight. So I'm just like, I'm just going to suck on it. I mean, it got up to be like 94, 95 degrees in my house. I was a pissed off son of a bitch like 4 or 5 days. I mean, I can't imagine just being in Georgia in August, in July, no AC, but just said you grew up without AC. With all your siblings and everything, that's got to be a tough way to grow up, something hard to deal with. And then you get on to professional baseball. You have a hell of a career, 17 years. All kind of awards, multiple Gold Gloves, and everybody can still see your big fat happy smiling face when that fly ball's coming at you off of Mark Waller's pitch to catch the last out of the '95 World Series and give the Braves the first World Series championship. But you've come full circle, and your Marquis Grissom Baseball Foundation. I mean, talk about that, because I mean, you're basically taking kids exactly who you used to be back in the late '70s, early '80s, and your foundation funds everything. I mean, I've seen your bus. You pay for the bus. You pay for travel. You pay for hotels. You pay for uniforms. You pay for entry fees. The guys that play on your teams, they don't pay for shit. You pay for all of it, and it's absolutely just fantastic what you've done. And you've gotten guys to the big leagues. You've got multiple guys scholarships. So talk about that a little bit, Grip.
Yeah, Rock. No, first of all, when you grow up with no AC, you just got no AC. You know what I'm saying? So
I didn't have it either. I just got to throw in, we grew up in a split level in College Park. No central air. I grew up with no AC, with a fan in the window right there.
Fan in the window. Yep, that's
fan
it.
In the
fan
window.
in the window. So it was just a normal thing, Rock, growing up then. We were fortunate enough to have that fan in the window.
That's it. That's all you got.
But yeah, man. So Rock, as I was growing up, and Steve, as I was growing up, man, it was if I ever had an opportunity to help somebody, I already knew what I was going to do. I was going to go back and try to help as many kids as possible, create that opportunity for them to number one, get an education, possibly go to college. And it wasn't about baseball, because my mom and dad, they taught me skills and trades, how to support myself. And it's working with these hands, how to lay bricks, how to lay blocks, how to do construction work,
how to feed cows, bale hay.
Everything
I've seen you do that.
Everything you can imagine, man. I tried to learn as a kid, and I didn't understand it at the time when my dad was trying to get me to learn all these things. And he did all this with a second grade education. And my mom went to the sixth grade. That's the highest they went in elementary school. But they taught us the values of life and trade and how to support myself with these hands. And lucky these hands worked in baseball. I had good hand-eye coordination, but I could have supported myself in many other ways, and I still do today over the things that I learned from my parents. But to give a kid another opportunity to become something, realize who they are, and follow their dreams and challenge themselves, that's kind of like what my parents left, for me. And then to be able to be a part of Hank Aaron, getting to know him and his dream of creating opportunities, I kind of combined all that information, my experience in the game, man, and just poured it all into baseball to try to give it back on that level and use baseball as a springboard to get these guys to graduate from high school and also go to college and be the best professional person that they can possibly be. So it's really not about baseball. Yeah, we got 3 guys in the major leagues right now, maybe 4: Taj Bradley, Michael Harris, Lawrence Butler, and Chandler Simpson, who kind of came through the program. And we probably got another 13 guys that's in the minor leagues that's on their way up. Hopefully one day get to the big leagues. And it's all about development. And you know, Rock, giving them the information that we experienced as a pro player. You know, they don't believe it at first. They have to go out and experience, get hit upside the head first, then come back. Then they come back the next year, they want a little bit more. And that's how we're able to keep these guys around. Just giving them information that nobody knows, Rock, but you and I, the guys that played in the league, that they're going to experience when they're in the minor leagues and when they're in the big leagues.
Yeah, you know, and I've been coming to your foundation. I haven't been to the gala in February in a couple of years since I moved down to Florida. I come to your golf tournament every year, and I can remember, you know, 5, 6, 7 years ago, maybe a few more years ago, when Michael Harris was getting an award through your foundation for, you know, Player of the Year in your foundation. He was getting some award that your foundation, you know, gave him, and then you turn around and find like, that dude that got the award at the gala, he's a Rookie of the Year with the Braves now. No, it's really cool what you've done for these guys, and it's you're serving the underprivileged kids that grew up in your neck of the woods where you grew up just like you, and you know the gala raises a lot of money, the golf tournament raises a lot of money, and I mean I had no idea. I don't have any kids, I don't really do the travel ball thing that much, but you know being around some players and doing you know some pitching coach type stuff with guys that do a lot of travel ball. I mean it's $4,000, $5,000, $6,000 a year to play travel ball. That is just insane. I mean, when we grew up, it was Little League, and your registration dues were like $85, and that was it. $85 is with shitty cleats, and I could play Little League. But, I mean, to compete at a decent level, to you know, hopefully you know, play past high school. I mean, it might be $5,000 a year. I mean, and think about it. You get your kids start at 13. I mean, you might spend you know $25,000, $30,000 on this kid's baseball by the time he's done with high school, and to think your foundation grip covers every dime of that tab for all these kids. How many teams you put on the field every year?
Well, Rock, you know, when I first started, I sponsored all the teams and I paid for all the uniforms. So now I got to the situation now where I went into that development phase. So I run the Atlanta Braves RBI Association, where now I'm able to gather, you know, 1,000 kids and put them on a team. It's $100 that they have to pay, which is a little bit more better than me sponsoring everything. You know, when I first started, I was using my own money. And then then I started the gala and the golf tournament to kind of raise the money to sponsor these kids. But we got over close to 1,000 kids that's playing, you know, fall ball and a whole summer season for $100. So I think that's the best thing going. And then now I got 3 travel ball teams, and I got, you know, the Junior Hill boys, 3 teams at 3 different age groups. And overall, though, total teams for RBI, MGBA, and rec ball. So I cover every level of baseball. The guy that just started playing, ain't never played. The guys that's in the middle of the road, those are the RBI kids. And then I got a couple travel ball teams that on that circuit, which we play our own travel ball. We travel when we want to travel, and it's more about development. So overall, John, I probably got about 85 to 90 teams, sometimes 95 teams. You know, all depends on if it's the summer or the fall.
That's tremendous, buddy. And just all right there in Central Georgia, right? Around Atlanta.
All right within probably 30-mile radius.
And
you know what's crazy?
He asked me to come out and coach not once.
No, well,
damn it, boy.
John, we don't need you to teach the kids to cuss, okay? You cuss.
Well, they got to learn it. They might as well learn for the best.
No, you drop
shit,
F-bombs like I say, what's up? But I will say, and he knows he does, but what y'all are talking about, and I live up here in Milton, and it is the 0.1%. So I'm like the poorest guy in Milton. And that's fine. They let me get in. Now you can't get rid of my ass. I got my house. I'm on the golf course. And I'm like you, come from nothing. Parents came from nothing, lower middle class I was. And now I see what's going on. I coach in the Hopewell system up here only because I'm not going to let the one kid get stuck in the outfield. I'm going to help these kids, encourage them. And I also coach my boys because I just want to make sure everybody's okay. I don't let anybody play any certain position. But we are running now in 8 and 5, and what y'all are talking about, the expense is absurd. The equipment that they channel to these people and these parents openly buy is absurd. the uniforms, the bags, the training. McCann's father's up here, and I help him a lot of times, and we do things together. Sometimes his batting thing, he seems to be about the most normal. There's things that are crazier, but what I've noticed is the travel ball. It's the parents, though, more than anything. And I want to know what y'all's parents, and I think people listening, parents now have lost their mind. And I have literally talked to the stands 2 weeks ago. I'm like, they're 5. The trophy is plastic. It's about them learning the game. It doesn't matter who wins. And I got parents arguing or yelling at the refs that are 14 years old. The parents are ruining the game at y'all's age because of these super teams.
So, Steve, for me, I think that it's the parents are just uneducated because of the travel ball and the showcase baseball. See, the travel ball and the showcase baseball is showcase your talent, showcase your kid. So everybody want to be on that number 1 team. And through the whole process, there's no development. Who's development? Everybody want to see games. The kids want to see games, and the parents want to see games. So if you don't do no development, the kid goes out there, you play all these games, and you trying to get on that stage to showcase your talent, but there's no development. But the elite kid is already elite. So that's the driving force with Perfect Game and Travel Ball, and they're doing a great job. Don't get me wrong, I'm not talking against Perfect Game. They're doing a hell of a job of getting those guys who's at that level that can play at that level of baseball. But it's 10 times the amount of kids that needs to get developed that can be on that level, because that's what we're doing. So I don't need the best kids. I just need a good parent who understands the game and the system, that want to learn and that want to teach the game. And now he'll be a better player down the road because he's going to be more fundamentally sound over a long
Bring him
period of
to
time.
me, drop him off, go somewhere else, come back and get him, and shut the blank up in the meantime.
Absolutely.
And when he gets back home, don't try to tweak his swing or tweak his delivery. I've got, I don't work with a lot of kids. I probably have 15 kids I work with on a regular basis. And talking about developing grip, the worst thing I hate is a lot of times you get these kids early on, they're like a monkey blanket of football, and you look at their delivery and you're like, oh, that's painful to watch, man. And I'll spend 4 or 5 months dialing them in, and they're like, oh man, everything, and they'll go off these travel ball tournaments, and they'll get some daddy ball coach or something, and 3 months later call me back going, I don't know what's happening, but come on back in. And I look, I'm like, what the hell? Well, my coach in travel ball said, I'm like, hey, man, here we go. And I'll spend another 3 months refixing them from what travel ball, daddy ball coach did. What credentials does he have? Well, he played a half a year at JUCO back in 1996. You listen to that guy? Okay, yeah, so it is grip. It's all about development, man. It really is. And everybody wants to be the next Derek Jeter, but they don't want to put the time and effort in to take the small steps. How do you run a marathon? 1 step at a time. How did Derek Jeter become Derek Jeter? 1 step at a time. Yeah, you got to have the God-given talent, but there is no shortcut to the big leagues. There is not.
Yeah.
As you well know.
The sad part now is, like, for me, it's like the players don't remember that you have to sweat. You got to work.
Yeah, work your ass off,
man. You got to
work.
You got to work at this. The game is built on failure, so you're going to have to work your tail off to learn how to deal with those failures. And hopefully you got enough of the fundamentals in you to sustain the brunt of the bullet when you get knocked down, because the competition level is going to be huge.
A little bit, but while John's figuring that out, what you're both saying, and I dig it to, the person watching our podcast, you back? You good? There is something about, and I know development, and I see, like, my sons are getting game balls. I just put a video of my 5-year-old on TikTok, and he just gets a simple out at third and touches the base. It's got 38,000 views, and I'm like, why? I don't know what people see or what, but I try to film when I'm out there, have fun.
I wouldn't watch that shit.
Yeah, you would?
No, I wouldn't watch that shit. No way.
Well, you don't, because, you're still having sex with strangers, and I dig it. I did it until I was 48. Griff, I am now 60 with an 8-year-old and a 5-year-old. Finally, I met the woman at 48. Rocker, I think maybe he's found one.
And Grip's better. Grip's better.
Yeah. He's coming along, Steve. He
is. I've seen her. I haven't met her.
It took me 51 years to mature. I turned 51 three days ago, and I can finally say, okay, I feel I've crossed the valley. I'm to the other side. I'm fully vested. I'm fully mature now.
Well, look
Time
at
to
that.
get on with being an adult.
You know what it is,
like
Griff? He looked down and finally saw a gray pubic hair and goes, "Oh God, it's coming." But for what y'all are talking about, you two though, and other people, there is development, and I get it. But do you think both of y'all had God-given skills that puts you in the
of course
of a 1%? That's hard. So
you can't make chicken salad out of chicken shit. I mean, you can't do that. But
exactly,
absolutely.
But
it's where hard work, talent, and dedication all kind of merge, you know.
But on the college level, if you think you got a kid that's not getting the offers that you two did at 18, I think if you can raise, that's what I'm hoping. Do I have a kid that can get any kind of partial scholarship? That's a win. The pros are just the moon.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And talk about development, Grip. I want to hear your take on this. I mean, you're an old school guy. You played 17 years, tremendous career. You know, borderline Hall of Fame guy. I look at big league offense now. Just what the hell has happened? You know, I get it. Shohei Ohtani, he's the next second coming. He's the Babe, the modern day Babe Ruth, and only because he can pitch too. And he swings the bat well. But if I'm not mistaken, okay, so he finished the year hitting about 290. 45 bombs, something like that. Oh my God, he can walk on water. Back in the late 90s, early 2000s, like 95 to like 05, there was 15 guys in the league that hit above 290 with 45 bombs. I mean, there was Manny Ramirez's, the Juan Gonzalez's, the Ellis Burks's. I mean, those guys. I mean, every year they're 320, 325. The Jeff Bagwells with 48 bombs, 140, and Ohtani I think had 110, 290 with like 45, and is in the top 3-4 in the league. But I mean, 20 years ago there was 15, 20 guys that had that. What's the difference then versus now?
For me, John, I think it was that many. It was 15 and 20. 15, 20 guys. Sheffield,
yeah, I know. Gary, every year.
But now you got 4 guys maybe. You got Judge, and you got Shohei, and you got Soto, and the guy from Seattle.
And to interrupt you real quick, I had Will Clark on the show 2-3 months ago, and Will still works with San Fran. And Will told me a stat. I was like, dude, repeat that, please, man. He said last year, four guys, all the big leagues, finished hitting above 300. Yeah. 4 guys in the big leagues hit above 300. Yeah. It was nothing to have 4 guys on a team finish the year hitting above 300.
Is it what a lot of people are saying? They
what's the deal, Grip?
Run balls? Yeah.
Of course. That's what
home runs.
We want home runs. You think about this. We took a survey working with MLB. Out of the 30 teams, 28 of the teams are concerned about hitting the ball in the air. So if you can get a base hit on the ground, they don't care about that. They want the ball in the air. They want doubles or home run. And that's just where the game is. And
if you want more runs, do the math. I haven't done it. Actually, probably after this show I will, because I'm just curious. I guarantee you run production is down 20%, 25% from what it was 20 years ago. So if you got such a hard on about the home run and doubles in the gap, you probably cost yourself, 20, 25% less runs than there was 2 decades ago. So your philosophy is not working, guy.
Yep. Well, it's not. But the real baseball comes in now when the playoffs start. I probably seen more guys bunt.
Yeah.
In this playoff,
it's been a
good the whole season.
Yeah, several good series. Good series. Yeah.
But guys, this is what's selling: doubles and home runs.
Yeah.
The game has changed, and we. But do we teach our kids this when we're training them? I don't, because I think that a lot of kids are just not strong enough to understand what the launch angle is. I'm thinking hit the ball hard. My philosophy of thinking of hitting a baseball is not swinging up in the air. I'm more like Alex Rodriguez, swing down on the ball, then you're going to eventually
create backspin
and get backspin, create backspin on the ball. So the time has changed, and for me, Rock, I had to get with that to understand the analytics because it kind of involves what I'm teaching, but I teach it at my own pace and who for the guys who can understand it, and those are the guys that are in college or in the minor leagues and get those ready. But my key and the way I was able to trick these guys to get better and faster and stronger is through training. So that's how we get the numbers up. So that's my gift to them. I kind of know how to get those numbers up where you can backspin the ball a little bit more. You can get more barrel off the ball. You right to make better contact and harder contact through training, and that's strength training. So that's where I think my gift is for the kids that are in our program, and they don't quite understand it because now I think with the testing that's going on with USA Baseball and Major League Baseball, you got to be able to pass that test.
What
And that's
kind
before
of
you even
testing
get
are you
on.
talking about?
That's before you even get on the field.
What kind of testing?
Well, they're running the 30 and they doing the optimal jumps where they getting how much pounds of pressure that you releasing from the mound when you're forced from transferring energy from one side to the other
Way
side.
too much
You know,
technical shit, man.
guys,
Yeah.
they got mounds now that cost $50,000 that you can put in an indoor facility
Mounds.
and pitching mounds where you can generate power and
When's
force.
it gonna stop, man? What's it
Not
gonna be
stop.
next?
When
What's it gonna be
robots,
next,
when
man?
robots play, we're gonna have
I
robots
guess,
play.
man.
Yeah, I
Nonsense.
done seen all this stuff, traveling with my son, going to colleges, visiting colleges. I seen a lot of information, got a lot of information from schools and professional baseball, and kind of ball it all up and come up with my own little scheme
Can
on
you
how I
imagine if
want to
guys
train
like
the
Bill
kids.
Fisher or Jim Beecham were still around, or Bobby Dews were still around?
Yeah.
Some old school, old crusty motherfuckers. If they
Yeah,
were still around too, they would. Oh, this would kill them. This would kill. They were still around. This would kill them. All
yeah.
this modern analytic bullshit. This
But
would
but
kill them for sure.
but you get a chance to they get a chance to use the numbers so they're not wrong.
Yeah,
So
I
you're
guess
not
so.
wrong if the numbers don't lie. So you're not wrong. So you can make
But what
mistakes, but
number
you're
doesn't
not wrong
lie
because the
is
numbers don't
baseball run
lie.
production is down 20% in the last 25 years.
Yeah, I agree
Last
with you.
last I checked, it wasn't the most hits, wasn't the most strikeouts, it was the most runs. Most runs. If I'm scoring one less run per game because I punched out 12 fucking times,
Yeah,
I'm doing my team a disservice. So, but yeah, your approach to the game, the way you played, you were the guy I hated facing. First of all, your stature, you're 5'10ish, 5'11ish. I would much rather face like Richie Sexton, big
yeah,
old 6'7" dude
yeah,
with a strike zone that's this freaking
yeah,
big. But a guy like you with a short swing, that there was a gap-to-gap guy that kept the barrel in the zone a long time. You were the guy I hated fucking facing. That style of hitter, you, Fernando Vina, those guys, a
yeah,
gap to gap with some speed, short swing, inside out swing. I hated facing guys like you. I mean, give me Jeff Bagwell all day long with that big old uppercut back leg swing. I used to abuse the shit out of Jeff. I think
yeah,
he was like 1 for 15 off me with like 10 punch outs. He used to abuse the shit out of him because he
yeah,
just had that big hacking swing. I mean,
yeah,
back foot
yeah.
breaking balls, fastballs away, fastballs up.
But
Eventually,
he's one of the guys too that you think about it. He was right in his swing. He's a Hall of Famer, but he was right in his swing. He got that launch angle. He
yeah.
had that launch angle right off the
But
bat.
he still managed to hit about 315, 320 every year.
Yes, he did.
Him
He's a
and
hell of a
Biggio.
player. Hall of
Yeah,
Famer, man. I just
yeah.
seen him at a card signing, and I got me a couple autographs from him too up there in Nashville.
How much weight has that cat lost?
Yeah,
A
yeah.
lot. He a damn $185 now.
He a great dude though, man. I had fun competing against him because he was just one of the genuine guys who spoke to you when you got to first base, and actually genuinely cared about the game. You know what I'm saying? Those kind of guys, man. I loved all those guys who just played their ass off, played hard, and respected the other team too as well.
Yeah, he definitely did. And I tell you, you were gone with them, but my Braves team put his Astros team out of the playoffs back-to-back years, and
Yeah.
you could just see this. He just wore it all over his face. When that series was done, he was just so fucking pissed. He just couldn't get by us. He never. I don't think he ever played a World Series, did he? I don't think he
so.
did. Yeah, I don't think he did.
I know he
It
got a
was-
couple of gold gloves and
Yeah,
All-Star. He won MVP. Might have won MVP one year too.
yeah, he
I'm
probably
not sure.
did.
Yeah.
Hey, Marquis, real quick, when you look at like you and Rocker hates this question. I just started asking it, but I'm a visual guy and I like, thinking outside the box. When you look at, you played for the Braves just a year, man, just 1 year. But then I look at all the teams you guys played for, and you played in Montreal, and we were kind of joking on air today about Toronto. And we're like, should we let a Canadian team be in the league and win our trophy? And I'm like, well, yeah. I said, I'd be honest with you. I like Toronto a hell of a lot better than I like California right now politically. So the hell with the Dodgers. But all the uniforms and all the years you played there, to finally come home and play for Atlanta, how did that deal go down? And yes, what is your favorite uniform to wear? What are your favorite colors? I got to know out of all the teams you played for.
Man, you got to remember, Steve, where I come from. I come from Red Oak. So
Yeah, baby. South side.
When I put that uniform on, it's like it's a whole different episode. It's like I love all the teams. I love every team that I played for. Like every last one of them. Like ain't no other. I love the Braves. You know they got to be 99 out of 100, but the rest of them are 99 because I'm from Atlanta. I was born and raised here, and my family's here, my friends and my teachers and my coaches, all of them are here. But I respected that uniform that I put on, man, every single time I stepped out there on the field because the Montreal Expos drafted me. They believed in me and they drafted me. And then I got traded to Atlanta for those 2 years. I came home and we won a world championship with that nucleus of that great team and that great front office with Bobby and Sherhost. Man, it's nothing better. It's nothing better than winning the World Series in your hometown and being from here. And I got those 2 years to play. I played here in 95 and 96 and went to the World Series both years. And man, I could have retired after that in my mind. But man, to be able to continue to go and play another 10 years, it was awesome.
See if you can relate to this, Grip, because I grew up in Macon, not 15, 20 minutes from Fulton County Stadium where you played, but I grew up like 70 miles, and I grew up going to Braves games, and I grew up watching watching the games on the Superstation WTBS when it was Channel 17, and I can remember when I was 12 years old going to a game, actually playing the Expos. It was in maybe 84-ish or so, 86 or something like that, where Bob Horner hit 4 home runs in one game. And hell, Bob was at the signing that we did in Nashville a couple of weeks ago. I've still got that damn program. And I still keep forgetting to bring it to have Bob sign it. But this was 40 years ago. I got this program. I still have the damn thing. You growing up in Atlanta, me growing up in South Atlanta, growing up a Braves fan, and being fortunate enough to get drafted by the Braves. When I got the big leagues, I told people all the time, I got the big leagues, I took those games fucking personally. It was almost like, how personal your high school rivalries were when your buddies are on the opposing team and you want to beat the opposing team because you want to have the trash talking bragging rights against your buddies for a whole year. Yeah, we beat your ass in football. I took the same approach to my Braves games. This is a team I grew up loving. I took these games personally, man. And so games against our hated rivals, the Mets, it was like playing my hated crosstown rival when I was in high school. I took them personally. Did you kind of feel the same way?
Absolutely. So when I was drafted, the Braves and the Expos shared the same complex. And I couldn't And I was like you, Rock. I could not stand the Braves because we always was second fiddle to those guys. They always played at the stadium. They had the better locker room. We always practiced on the backfield in the back. Nobody ever came back there in the back to watch us. Everybody, they had thousands and thousands of fans. If we had a small amount of fans in the backfield in that hot ass sun, I'm talking about beaming back there. There's no shade nowhere. And we played them like every other game. You know what I'm saying? We may go play somebody, we come back and play the Braves. And I wanted to kick their butt every single time, man. And actually, Rock, I think that made me a better player because that was 5 years of that hatred where I wanted to kick their butt every single time. Then when I got the opportunity to play with them, that's the team I like because, see, I went to arbitration with the Montreal Expos. And that's the business side of the game, which I hope.
And that'll make you hate the team you play for. It's fucking arbitration.
That'll make you hate the team you play for.
Oh yeah, you will.
I realized
I did that shit.
Point, I was a small company working for a big company. That's when I knew to kind of grasp the business part of the game. I knew I was a small company working for a big company. So when I got to the Braves, I locked in. We had such a great team because I knew all the guys from playing against them, 5 years in a row. And then we had a chance to win the World Series. I knew that coming out the gate, Rob. Because
so you had to sit through an arbitration case.
I did.
And listen to your GM just MF you for about an hour and a half.
For 2 days.
Why even give me a contract? This fucking bad.
I did the same shit, buddy. They ripped me for 2 days.
I did the same shit. And I tell you, here's a funny story. I had to fly to Phoenix, my arbitration case, and Sherholtz was there, and I'm trying to think. I think Chuck Lamar was there. Yeah, the usual suspects.
Yep.
And they had some little like 25, 26-year-old little fat analytic, just economics little fucking nerd. And he was the one that was sitting there reading off all the John's a piece of shit stats. Mm-hmm. And he was like, and something. Did John Rocker do this? No, he didn't. And something. John did not do that either. And this player here is better than John because, like, you fat sack of shit. And just sit there, I am fucking seething for about an hour and a half. And the arbitration case is over. We get up, we leave the little boardroom, and I'm out in the lobby talking to my agents. And this little fat kid walks by me and goes and gets on the elevator. I tell my agent, 1 sec, I'll be right back. Round the corner, get on the same elevator with him. That door closed, that kid's like, oh shit, I think I might have fucked up. And I just ate that kid's fat ass to like the 20th fucking floor. God, I ate his ass, man. You fat sack motherfucking me, you fucking cocksucker. Oh God, I ate his ass, man.
Did you ever regret doing those? Because I've been around you a lot, and I know Marquis has too. When the temper goes off, and I'm not saying you don't deserve to be upset. Do you think it got you more in trouble, or did you just get to do what?
Well, I mean, the cat's out of the bag at that point. I just sit there for 2 hours, listen to this guy that can't walk and chew gum at the same time, just talking about how horseshit I am.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll say how horseshit I am. Yeah. You think you want to talk shit about me and any consequences? Yeah, bullshit. Yeah. And if I beat the kid's ass, then maybe that would have been a problem. Yeah. But no, I gave him an earful for about a minute and a half. But back to the Expos, though, Grip. Clearly Expos, and we see it, even today, the small market team that just can't keep the players around. When you look at the Expos in the late 80s and early 90s, who the hell was drafting those guys? Who was responsible for drafting Randy Johnson and you and Rondell White and Pedro Martinez and Larry Walker and Andres Galarraga? I mean, the teams, the players, where those guys ended up going in the Hall of Fame careers, literally all in like an 8 to 10 year period of time. Who the hell was making those signing decisions? Whoever it was a freaking baseball genius. Who was that?
Yeah, it was a group of, I think, 4 or 5 guys that I'm talking about. The Braves and the Expos had the best organizations in all of baseball. Maybe Minnesota Twins too during that time, 80s, early 90s, late 80s. And that was Gary Hughes, who was a part of the Phillies. Expos, went to Florida Marlins. Frank Wren, who was here in Atlanta.
Yeah, Frank. I'm a big fan of Frank.
Guys, yep, and I can't think of the Latino guy name, but those 2 guys right there was 2 of the smartest guys I thought were in all of baseball.
I mean, those 10 years. I mean, just
those players.
Think who came to the Expos and about from 85 to about 92 or 93.
Yeah.
Like, holy shit.
A lot of players, a lot of great players.
Yeah. I mean, but there's probably 3 or 4. Larry's a Hall of Famer.
Galarraga should be a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, he should. I don't know what's keeping him out. And obviously, Randy, Pedro.
Yep.
That's 3 Hall of Famers, like literally all signed within about a 3 year period of time.
Moise Alou should be a Hall of Famer.
Moise.
Pirates. He comes to the Pirates organization, then we got him.
Yeah, I wonder what would have happened if the '94 strike had happened, because I think Montreal was like 10 games up on Atlanta in August when the strike occurred.
6, 7 games up on them. We had just played them and swept them at home.
That's right, you were on that team.
Our way to Atlanta, so it would have been good. And everybody, that's one of the most asked questions that I get. Probably would we have won? But still, I look back on the Braves, who had this pitching staff that was out of this world. With Maddux, Smokes, Glavine, and
was Greg there in '94?
Avery.
Was Greg there in '94?
I think he was it?
Yeah, I think you're right. I think might have been his first year there.
Then I think they had got Denny Nagel as well, and with Merker and Stanton, all those guys. Yeah. They had a great pitching staff, but we wasn't afraid of them. A lot of those players felt like I felt when we used to be second fiddle to those guys in West Palm Beach, and they kind of had the swag, and they had beat us. They were number 1 every year for those 4 or 5 years and shit. We wanted to beat them. So I don't know, man. That's been a good contest, because we had great pitching too. We had Ken Hill, we had Pedro, we had John Wetland, so we had Jeff Mel Rojas. We had a hell of a pitching staff too that wasn't.
And I wonder what would have happened to Montreal. Had Montreal, gone to the World Series that year and generated some capital, generated some revenue if they could have kept those players and started kind of a dynasty there. And maybe not have had to, beat feet and go to Washington, 6-7 years later.
Yeah, we need a new
10 years later.
stadium. Need a new stadium downtown somewhere.
Oh, it was awful. That stadium was so bad, man.
St.
Was
Laurent
so
River
bad.
would be great down there where the little similar to Six Flags area at. I think that would be a great spot. And I like baseball in Canada, man. They gave me that opportunity, man.
I know.
I
just
like playing in
love
Toronto. I mean, Toronto's yard pretty good.
Yeah.
That's funny.
But yeah,
I'm going to bag out just because. Can I just say goodbye? I want to see the back of this rocker.
Yeah, I see that. I see this. We got the.
You need a rocker. You need a rocker on the back of a jersey of a young man that's playing baseball and got the game ball. But Marquis, I'm going to get off because John's starting to drop F-bombs, and he doesn't know that word.
Wow, I'm done after my arbitration little rant there. So I'll clean it up.
But I will tell you, in my hall, what's special to me and being on with the two of you and being around y'all in Atlanta, I've got my rocker signed jersey up, Atlanta Brave jersey. And then I've got Marquis, I've got your bat signed with a big old wad of white tape at the bottom that Michael Lowry got for me. And you signed it when Lowry was working on the grounds crew, our friend that you played Little League ball with. And I got it hanging in my hallway. So my hall is I've got 6 major things and y'all are 2 of them. So for me, this has been a pleasure just talking to both of you and doing this Uncaged podcast, Rocker. It's good stuff, man.
Yeah, I appreciate it, Steve. You want to drop off?
Yeah, I'll drop off just because I got a little guy.
Yeah, I see him.
We're going to ride down the road. But Marquis, take care, and I'll come and bring you some baseball to sign for me. And anytime you need help with that golf tournament, let me know. I know you threw Otis's tournament, but obviously I'm not doing that one these days. So whatever I can do to help.
Before you get off, Steve, let me tell you this. I appreciate all of that, man. But my organization, right? Oh, I started over here on the south side of town. That's just one of my locations. That's not my destination. So if you ever need anything up the road, man, we're trying our best. We're doing some stuff up here at a few schools up in Marietta and Alpharetta. So we're on our way, man. So anything you ever need, don't you hesitate to call, man. We'd love to come up there and help out much as we can on the development side, during this time of the year, Friday, Saturday, Sunday events where we can do some training with some of the kids up there.
They would love it, and we need that up here. Like I said, McCann's father is the only one really that's doing that in this area outside of the Cobb ball, but we need that in Alpharetta. There's a lot of kids playing that love the sport and have an opportunity. We just got to dial it back on the expensive uniforms.
Absolutely.
If you heard that. But thank you for your time today, and take care, man, and I'll be in touch. And like I said, I'll do your golf tournament. I don't know what was on or not on. My kid was touching everything. But Parker's a little ball player. He's 5, and he's got the hopes and dreams y'all did. And he's growing up in an air-conditioned house, unlike you and I. Also, I want to toss one more at you because I know Rocker grew up rich. Damn it. But,
yeah, right.
Kidding.
No.
But I didn't have a color TV until 10th grade. And we had my one brother had allergies, and he had the only air conditioning sticking out the window on our split level. So I could crash in his room. But I respect where you were raised, and I carry that Southside banner in my name.
You had color TV. I didn't have cable until I was a senior in high school. I had 3 channels until I was a senior in high school. I had never watched Sports Center until I was a senior in high school.
So
3 channels, that's it.
Watching the Atlanta Braves on WTV.
Yeah, rabbit ears, man, 17.
Wrestling.
Yeah, and you had to get the rabbit ears just right to like see through the snow and then tell who the Braves were playing.
Yep, channel 2, 5, and 11.
Back in the day, man. Well, thank you, ball game. I appreciate it, buddy.
All right,
cheers.
Steve.
All right.
All right, later.
All right, Grip, man. Enjoyed talking to you, dude. Thanks for coming on, and I guess I'll probably, if I don't see you before, probably see you at your gala in February.
Yeah, man. Hey, man, keep up the great work, man. Doing an outstanding job.
I appreciate it, buddy.
And again, man, I appreciate everything that you do, man. You've been supporting, like I said, that means a lot to me. You've been supporting me ever since the first time I asked you. And we got to tell people how we met on the golf course.
Now, you tell that story. You told me the other day, and I'm like, I don't recall that. But yeah, I'm you got a better memory than I do.
You hit your ball on the opposite side of the fairway. I hit my
No,
ball on the
no.
opposite
You
side
hit
of the
your ball
fairway.
on the opposite side. My ball was right that dead
Your
middle of
ball
the
wasn't in
fairway
no
where my
fairway.
ball
Your
was. Your
ball was
ball was
over
the
there.
other
We both
fairway.
were in the woods looking for balls and shit.
Probably. Yeah, probably.
And then we went on a cussing tangent, cussing each other out because we didn't even know. That was our way of saying, "Hey, what's up, man? How you
Yeah.
doing?"
So I was going to hit your ball thinking it was my ball.
No, we both were looking for our ball
Oh, I
because
got you.
my shit was over there in the woods too, and yours
Yeah,
was yours was on the other fairway.
I got a great out of the woods game. I got that shot. Yeah. 150 in the short grass, I ain't got that shot. But 150 in from the pine straw all day long, but I'll stick that shit tight. But
I got you, man.
no,
But I
you do a
appreciate
great thing, Grip. And again, knowing we start off the conversation, knowing how you grew up, and then now pulling it full circle and trying to give those kids a leg up, and the instruction, but also the funding. And I'm up here in Nashville at John Daly's bar filming this. And spent the last 2 nights staying at Russ Brandon's house. And Russ just got back from the tournament you were at down in Jupiter. He said between traveling down there and 2 or 3 nights in an Airbnb, he spent almost $4,000. They're playing one stinking tournament, and his kid got 5 at bats, 5 ABs. That's it, and spent $4,000.
Yep,
And
that
that's
travel
insane.
ball
Not
is
everybody can
something,
do
man.
that shit,
That travel ball is something. It's too expensive. I
Yeah.
talked to a kid. I'm gonna let you go. I talked to a kid last night. He was waving his glove around. I gotta go get my pitching glove. I said, how much is that glove? He says, I said, $300. He's going, no, $329. I said, well, how much is your pitching glove? He said, it was $319. He got 2 gloves, $650 worth of gloves.
To hit about $1.50 and have an 8 ERA and make about an error a game, probably. Yeah, there you go. All right. Yeah,
That's
yeah.
amazing,
You can't
man.
make chicken salad chicken shit.
Amen. I
There
hear
you go.
Yeah,
Well, I appreciate it, Grip. And
right,
we'll give a
bro.
shout out to John Daly's Nashville. We're at John Daly's bar taping today. Want to thank John and all his staff for that. I want to thank Mr. Marquis Grissom for coming on and telling some of his stories and just catching up a little bit. Thanks, Grip.
Yeah, appreciate you, Rock.
Love you, buddy.
All right, man. Take care,
All
bud.
right,
Later.